Alrighty, so full day of eating. I basically want to do this just so I have it documented as I go through the rest of this improvement season into my prep for this next show. I just want to have stuff to look back at. My best to keep this short and sharp and literally just make it a full day of eating, but I'll probably wind up rambling. But meal one, let me run you through it. All right, so we have got 80 grams of oats, 20 grams cream of rice, 10 grams of chia seeds, 10 grams of 95% dark chocolate, 50 grams of a whey protein isolate, 150 grams of mixed berries. And in every meal today, because I'll probably forget to mention it later, we have 3 grams of pink salt. That is all just kind of mixed together. Probably doesn't look too appetizing, but all of that is in there. You know what, I've decided that I'm just going to put the macros on the screen because I cannot remember them, and I went and checked them and then I forgot them by the time I started filming again. Yep, so that is meal one, which is also my pre-workout meal, which I'm having at around about 6:30 a.m. I'm roughly like 40 weeks out from my intended next show / season that I'll be doing. But just kind of in the improvement season, growth phase, bulk, whatever you like to call it. This might seem like, I don't know, a decent amount of food for some people. For me, this is still very much poverty calories. I can handle a lot more food. Hunger is still extremely high, but I will just, follow the plan laid out by my coach and execute on that. I'm going to try and keep it short and sharp with each meal. Yep, here's the meal. This is what it looks like. This is what's in it. And we'll see if I actually stick to that. And I'll see you guys for meal two. All right, it is not meal two, but I nearly forgot. Intra workout, I do have 25 grams of carbs. So 100 calories, 25 grams of carbs, intra workout. Some things I probably forgot to mention before in the spirit of trying to just document where I currently am at in the journey. I was like 110.8 kilos this morning. My check-in pics from this week so you guys can see what the current look is looking like. Definitely not shredded by any means, but decently lean, especially for this body weight. In a pretty good spot to be starting to push things up and to grow from. Probably have a long runway ahead of me. Anyway, I'm at the gym, gonna go train. Alrighty, back from the gym and time for meal number two. Meal number two is 100 grams of rice flour, 50 grams of a whey protein isolate, 100 grams of banana, 10 grams of almond butter, and then we've got some cinnamon and salt on top. So super basic meal. Had a very good gym session, back and chest, progressed on everything. I thought more about it and I realized when I'm watching like a full day of eating, you do want to see them like take at least one bite. Okay, so that's my 10 grams of almond butter. I saw someone's video the other day and they were like, yep, 10 grams. And it looked like they had fucking 50 grams on there. Everyone is gaslighting me because 10 grams is not much at all. This is still not a lot of food for me. I'm a very hungry person, so I'm using the baby spoon still. All right, I need to get a bite in. Yeah, that's the good stuff. But I also do get a lot of joy just watching people's simple full day of eatings and watching bodybuilders like go about their thing. So maybe if I can provide that for some other people with this, that would be cool. Okay, meal number three. Let me try and get it in frame and then have me in frame. Kind of, yeah, there we go. Now, any weights that I mentioned today are all raw weight. Everything's in raw weight. So we have 125 grams of basmati rice. We have 200 grams of chicken. We have 175 grams of non-starch veg. Now, today that is made up of carrot, broccoli, beetroot, slaw, a mixture of that, and we have some spinach and we have some tomato. We also have 75 grams of sauerkraut, and there is 10 ml of olive oil. Now that is what makes up meal number three. Little tip, when you are wanting more volume and you're still hungry, using something like a basmati rice will yield you much more volume compared to using something like a sushi rice. So right now, although I am in a bulk I am in the off season, I'm still very hungry, so I'm using basmati rice to give me more volume. As you want to start to reduce that volume, switching to something like sushi rice is going to be far more compact, far more dense, and much easier to get down when food is getting high. I don't think there's anything else I should have mentioned before I finish this clip. I just want to fucking rip it and eat it. I kept it pretty short, sharp, and sweet. See you guys at meal 4. All right, we're back with meal number 4. Now, this one has got a bit more going on to it. So let me flip you around and run you through it. Completely suboptimal lighting exposure with the light coming in behind me. But here we go. Meal number 4. So we have got 500 grams of sweet potato, 100 grams of pineapple, 75 grams of pickles, 100 grams of salmon, 150 grams of extra lean beef mince, so 95% fat is what I'm trying to say, beef mince. And then we have 175 grams of non-starch veg. So same as that last meal, 175 grams of veg like allowance. And what I've made that up of for this meal is zucchini, red capsicum, and mushroom. So that is coming together to be 175 grams. Calories, macros for this meal, I'll chuck them on screen now. What else really needs to be said? This is a pretty expensive meal, a meal that will send me bankrupt, no doubt. Look at that goodness. Look how fucking good that looks. Let me spin it around and get some other angles going. Oh yeah. I've been editing this video as I've been going throughout the day, and I'm pretty proud of myself. So far, we've kept it pretty short and sharp and to the point. So yeah, that is the meal. One meal to go after this one. I'm not gonna say anything else. All right, it's me. I'm back again. Just finished up eating meal 4, but rather than waiting around to when I'm gonna eat meal 5 and showing you guys then, I'm just gonna get it out of the way and show you now and wrap up the video. I really just like to wind down and get ready for bed, and I don't want to be thinking about filming that later. So, meal 5. I've got the base of it prepped here, which is 300 grams like a low-fat yogurt, 20 grams of a casein protein, 15 grams of almond butter, and 150 grams of mixed berries. And then on top of this, it's going to get 100 grams of cereal. I just like to use basically a rice-based cereal. I basically just use rice puffs, and organic puffed rice, no added sugar, rice-based, easy digesting. And that also gives you the most volume. Whereas, once again, if this meal starts to increase and I don't want more volume, which isn't likely to happen anytime soon, but I would start to maybe mix up the cereal options to things that might be a bit more dense and a bit more exciting. So that is meal 5 there, and that'll finish up the day, which here's what I've prepared earlier to let you know. That brings it to 3,803 calories, 290 of which, 290 grams of protein, I should say, 503 carb, and 71 fat. Now, I think I kept it pretty short, sharp, and sweet, but I didn't go into detail on so many things I could have touched on around digestion, meal timing, electrolytes, all this different stuff. And I'm going to be obviously running this improvement phase, trying to pack on a lot of new tissue, and then going into a prep towards the end of the year. So if you want to follow along on that journey, then please do. And anyone that made it this far, thank you so much for watching along. And any questions or anything you want to see, please let me know down below in the comments. I need the positive reassurance from you all, so let me know that you're out there and that you watched it. You know, in past off-season / bulks, my food has had to get a lot higher. Normally get close to the 6,000 mark. I have a feeling that my coach is going to be very conservative, which is a good thing. Want to stay lean. In saying that, it's hard to imagine it won't get higher than it is right now. It'll definitely need to increase. And when it does, I will do another one of these. and maybe go into more detail. So yeah, that wraps up a full day of eating on 3,800 calories for a 110 kilo, 6'4" Instagram fake bodybuilder.